You heard the story about Shorty? I think it was like a 22-year-old girl who's in prison right now. Got a 7-year sentence for stabbing a girl. Mm-hmm. She's now the new prison bae.
Impact. 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 In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. My muscle tough as the hustle, the numbers is just that. And I'ma keep winning and sit back. I love the feeling of killing them with that. Attacking the process, tackling topics, master synopsis. This the residual impact, yeah.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new year. It is your man, Brandon Gio.
And it's your man, Jamichael Moore. And we are the Residual Impact Podcast.
Here we inspire others to find the greatness within themselves.
And then apply it to their communities.
We are now in the year of 2020. What?
I think it's a 2, bro.
2022?
Can you believe it?
Let's go.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
This is it. We here. We made it.
We made it.
That's the first
Yo,
thing.
straight up. I know, for real, like, I know some people who can't say the same.
That's true.
And it's sad, but I mean, it's a part of life.
That's true.
But for us to actually say that we made it to a new year,
Yeah.
yo, that is a blessing, my guy.
Not something to be taken very lightly.
Yo, for real.
Because that is very true what you just said. A lot of people, they can't say they made it here.
Yeah. And
We lost a lot of lives.
we did. And, you know, we miss y'all, for real, for real.
Yeah.
When I get out of here, I might pour a little liquor for y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Drop some on the bottom.
Like, real talk. But yo, 2 weeks from tomorrow, your man about to be another year older.
Yikes, spikes, bro! That's growth, my brother. That's another year added to the tally. How do you
Right.
feel? Like what's going through your mind right now?
New year, same me.
Okay,
That's how I'm feeling. New year, same me.
so it's the same you, but it's a more developed you. Like what can we expect from a 1 year old to be?
That's a great question, man. Like, you know, when I say New Year, same me, I mean, nothing's really gonna feel different, but I'm sure I'm gonna experience quite a bit of growth this year compared to last year. You know what I'm saying? Last year was a roller coaster for me, yo. Like, it started off on a high note, then dipped down, then kind of went up a little bit, then did a severe drop, then it was coasting, for a while. And then it was just like loops and turns and twists, and then it got to the end.
Yeah.
So, this year, instead of it being a roller coaster, man, I feel like I want it to be like I'm whitewater rafting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There might be some turbulence here and there, but good turbulence, like that exciting rush.
Okay.
And then I don't even know if I can say good turbulence. Is that a thing?
I mean, it depends on your perspective of it. So,
Okay, makes sense.
You know, I can think you can say that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I definitely want it to be like an exciting rush. Like, I've never been whitewater rafting, but it looks
Scared.
okay, yeah, to say the least. But you know what I'm saying? Like, those people who make it through, I mean, it's a definite adrenaline rush. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
So that's what I kind of imagine this year to be.
Nah, I think that's actually really good. I think first 12 months, that's a great perspective to go into it. Very optimistic. And I like how you say, you know, last year it was a bunch of ups and downs, twists and turns. But, you know, as we know, like, that's life.
Yeah.
You know, life is not going to be all smooth sailing.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, like, through all that, it was some growth within that.
Yeah.
That made you a better person.
Yeah.
You know.
I can honestly say that. I mean, for starters, we launched this.
We did.
So, you know, a year ago, last January, we were talking about it.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about that.
It's been a year since we were discussing this idea, and then we finally launched in the summer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully this year, well, Lord willing, this year with my whitewater rafting, you know what I'm saying? It starts off with that adrenaline rush, but, you know, every once in a while, get that calm, smooth sailing, especially towards the end of the year. Yeah. Because I really feel like we're about to accomplish some big things this year to the point to where as the year comes to a close, you and I could just, you know what I'm saying, we coasting because we've already established ourselves. You know, later on this year, can't even believe I'm saying that, but later on this year, we would have been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
And Yeah, man, I see nothing but great things ahead for us.
I agree, and I think it's like we're in a place now where we have laid the foundation, and because you got to think about it, we're still in the early stages of this thing. Yeah. But now it's like we have put in ourselves in a position to where, first and foremost, people know of us now.
Yeah.
People know us now, and they actually acknowledge us by the Residual Impact Podcast.
Most definitely.
That wasn't always the case.
No.
We have followers. We got subscribers now.
Yeah.
We have faithful listeners that listen to us and tune in to us.
Every single week.
Come on now. By the way, hit that subscribe and that like button.
Most definitely.
Give us a good share, and we will greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you comment down below. But first and foremost, likes are free. So please hit that like button. Definitely click subscribe if you're a frequent visitor. And even if you're new, just click subscribe anyway, because you're going to like the content that we're bringing to you, because we're putting in this work.
We are.
All 2022, we putting in this work. We're going to give y'all weeks and weeks filled with content. Mm-hmm. So check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. We're going to be there.
Yes, sir.
And I can't wait till we start doing live shows, brother. Like,
that's going to be dope.
Yo. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Also, to those that are listening through some of the various podcast platforms, hey, leave us a review. We love to hear from you. This helps us grow. This helps us also get engagement that we may not know what we're doing right or what we're doing wrong.
Right.
So we would greatly appreciate that.
For real, definitely. So yeah, man, that's growth.
It is.
That is some serious growth, and we thank each and every single one of y'all who have been listening to us consistently, because, I mean, this was really all just a dream at one point. This was all just something we thought of. Mm-hmm. And, we didn't know what it was going to turn into. Yeah. And just thinking about it a year from now. Yeah. Just imagine where we're going to be.
Dude, think about that. Like, we have been, like, when we started this thing, we just was on, like, go. Like, okay, let's put out content. Let's do something different than what we did. Let's continue to think of episodes. We were just kind of like on go. And then, when the end of the year kind of came, it was like we look back like, man, we did all of this stuff, bro.
Right.
And it kind of puts it in perspective of how much you really do when you just start. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
Like we always say, man, you ain't got to be great to start.
But you got to start to be great.
Most definitely. So, hey.
I love it.
I do too, man. I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm just so excited about the future, yo.
I agree.
So 2 weeks from tomorrow, your man's about to be another year older.
Yes, sir.
And I can't wait to see what challenges, what excitement this year has for me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Well, I want to start by asking you then, my brother, how was the week leading up to this new year?
The week wasn't bad, man. I definitely can't complain. Every day above ground is a good day. I haven't said that in a while, but things have been kind of slowing down at work since the holiday season is technically officially over now. So yeah, right. Now that is behind us,
Lord,
things have slowed down at work. So I haven't been busting my butt, every single day out here on the 9-to-5 grind. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying? I still got to get it. And we're looking to see, you and I have discussed it, a couple of days ago. I won't put all our business out there, but, we're just looking for opportunities to grow.
Oh, most definitely.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
Outside of the podcast. So, yeah, man, that's really been the week in a nutshell. And, I really, again, can't complain, man. I made it to a new year. So
you did.
Yeah. How was your week?
So this week for me, I would say, you said something kind of similar to what I feel like I was dealing with throughout the whole year. Mm-hmm. I felt like, how we have like different seasons of life, like, winter, summer, spring, and each person kind of finds a season more enjoyable than the next.
Especially Capricorn season, which we're in right now.
And it's like, for me, as like, I think about like winter, right? I'm not a huge fan of winter. So winter is something that I feel like I just have to endure.
Right.
And I feel like that's just where I've been lately. And I've been through an enduring season that's like, man, I just got to get through this season. And then another season is coming to where, man, I'm going to see the fruit of stuff. So basically, like, last week was kind of one of those things where it's like, we're wrapping up the year. I'm going through this season right now. I know it's growth. It wasn't always the easiest, but hey, I'm still here. And I do feel like I've been getting tested, but also I've been like overcoming these tests. I ain't been letting them just come at me and knock me down. Like, nah, like I'm like, okay, what else next? Like, let's go. Let's continue to, I'm gonna keep flexing my shoulders, man, keep going. So that's how it's been lately for me. But overall, I'm good. I'm great.
That's what's up. Yeah, man, I'm glad that, you've been overcoming these tests, because, boy, I know what it feels like to be tested, and just to see how we're going to respond to those tests, or how we're going to be able to overcome certain obstacles. Yeah. But, God never gives you anything you can't handle.
That's true. That's true.
So,
and you said something very key. You said you're going to overcome, and you're going to see how, like that, the way you respond to the test is what really shows who you are. It's like, it's not about just going through the test. I mean, the tests are going to come, but how are you going to respond to it? And I think that's something that's really showing me about life. Because like you say, man, it's ups and downs, twists and turns. Okay, what are you going to do about them? Are you going to rise above them, or are you just going to let them take you over?
Oh, can't do that. Well, I mean, you can rise above them. Yes, you can rise above them, but you can't let them take you over. That's what I was trying to get at. But yeah.
But you can, though. If that's what you want. But you don't want that,
you
though.
don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, no. I definitely don't want that. I can't speak for everybody else, but I definitely don't want that.
Yeah, I don't think y'all want that either. Because I feel like we all stronger than that. I feel like all those times they come to make us better.
Yeah.
If we don't give in to them. So. But
yes, sir.
I think just as crazy as my days have been, this weather has been even crazier, though.
Boy, I was just about to say, today, as we are filming this, it is January 1st, New Year's Day. First, I want to give a happy birthday shout out to my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. And I wish you many, 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 many more.
Happy birthday. And I actually got to give now belated happy birthday to my mom. It's kind of interesting how that works. But yeah.
Kind of is, yeah.
Happy birthday again.
And yeah, man, January 1st, bro. The temperature's like 70-something degrees outside.
I ain't mad at it.
In January.
I ain't mad at it.
Son, it was a little chilly this morning. Then it started raining out of nowhere. It was humid afterwards, and it started raining. Then the sun came out.
Remind me of Florida.
People was in shorts.
Remind me of Florida. Sound about right.
But it's like, yo, what is it coming to, man? Like, in January.
I wasn't the biggest believer in global warming, but now I'm starting to notice that it's more real than what we may think.
Yeah. I mean, I know I said before, I put my tinfoil hat on, like in the previous episode, you know what I'm saying? I tend to think of certain things like that often. And yeah, I've believed in global warming for a while now. Yeah. And yeah, man, it's scary.
It is scary. It is. I didn't even know that, you have, some of the world leaders, they go to part of the world every year to have like this conference to talk about the climate change and global warming and things like that.
Really?
Yeah, and they, they had one this year last year, and I don't think they came up to the solution that was necessarily needed. Let's just say that. And I just noticed some things that I was very ignorant to, and now it's just brought it to my attention that this is real.
So I mean, there's billions of us on this planet, man. If we just do our part, like.
But think about how hard that is to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, it's extremely hard, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Just think about it with us, man. Like, first and foremost, I don't know about you, but I am doing this because I want to see a change in our community. And by our community, I'm talking about our community. You feel me? There's so much stuff that we as a collective do that I've talked about in the show a lot, a whole bunch of pregnancies out of wedlock, you know what I'm saying? Baby showers without the title of Mr. and Mrs., behind it, that are actually replacing weddings now, stuff like that. And then, that's not the only thing, but of course we mentioned the reckless acts of violence in the community. So many other things that I can't even really think of right now because it bugs me. But I want to see a change in our communities, man. I want to actually see us with more 2-parent households, right? Mother and father present in the house with the children. I want to see fewer of us in prison, especially those of us who are wrongfully accused of stuff. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yo, that just blows my mind, man. It reminds me of, and I know I don't want to, I didn't mean to get off of this tangent. Mike, you may know of the situation better than I do. Former NFL player on the Atlanta Falcons, Brian Banks. Have you ever heard of this story? He's a black dude who was verbally committed to USC out of high school, and he played football. Like, dude had a promising future until one of his, former classmates at the time accused him of, for the YouTube algorithm, I'll go ahead and say sexual misconduct, aka grape. Just take out the G. And because of his accusation, or because of her accusation rather, dude spent close to 6 years in prison.
What? Dang.
He had a shot at the NFL, right? Like, he was such a promising football player. He was given a scholarship to college, and he had a shot at the NFL. And because she accused him, she lied about it. First of all, she completely lied about it, right? Remember in I think 2 episodes ago, we talked about how believe all women could be dangerous. This was a situation of just that. The young lady's name was Juanetta Gibson. That was her name. She falsely accused Banks of grape, and dude spent mad years behind bars. And I think while he was locked up, somebody was able to get a confession out of the young woman who accused him. And they got that confession on camera. And she admitted. She admitted to lying, but she didn't know she was being filmed. So she admitted to lying, and that's how he ended up getting out of prison.
But I'm guessing his career of making it to the NFL was over?
No. Because he was about to go to college. Like, he was out of high school when he got locked up. But before he got out, I think he wrote a letter to the Falcons, or he wrote a letter to some teams in the NFL, or somebody in the NFL heard his story and gave him a shot. They gave him like several tryouts, like and then he ended up playing on the Falcons.
Okay.
For a little bit, yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm happy that he still had a chance to fill out his life dreams, and
right.
That's first one. That sucks.
It does.
I don't like stuff like that. Like, come on now.
I don't either. But it just goes to show. I mean, of course, that's one example of what I mean by there's some brothers in prison, who have been locked up for nothing. Yeah. Think about the Central Park 5. Yeah. Remember, there was a whole Netflix movie that came out 2 years ago about them.
Yep, all them brothers locked up.
Right. So you just never know, man. There's so much stuff that goes on in our community that we are aware of, and then so many other things that we're not aware of. But I'm doing stuff like this because I want to help make a change in the community. I want to impact our brothers and sisters in such a way that we really start to fix our crap. Yeah. We turn a lot of things around, and instead of us being looked at as a negative light, like, I want us to be seen as more than just rappers and entertainers. And even though a lot of us are, getting to the point of where we're shedding that stigma, we're going into becoming doctors and lawyers and businessmen and businesswomen, and, entrepreneurs left and right. Yeah. I admire that. I wish more of that on us. Like, I want more of us to do that, because I really feel like together we can achieve more.
I agree.
And I don't mean to be cliche when I say that, but as a collective, as a group, if we all just stuck together and helped each other up to the top, versus seeing that man climb up to the top or that woman climb up to the top and be like, yo, they're gonna get up there before me. Let me go ahead and pull them back down, type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that anymore.
That's something I'm noticing in general. Just first and foremost, there's power in all of us working together, but I'm noticing that if you pay close attention, it's something that doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, I know.
And that's where I'm noticing the problem. Because just take us, for example, right?
Yeah.
We came together, we thought of an idea, we executed that idea. Now that idea is actually put into play.
Yeah.
Now, this is somewhat on a smaller scale to which we're trying to make a bigger impact. But just imagine how much of an impact if we all were on the same page. But if you look at certain media outlets, if you look at certain things that are put out there, it doesn't necessarily want that to happen.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
And that's a problem.
It is.
Because, I mean, there can be so much good and so much change in everyone just being on one accord.
And there could be so much power behind that.
Oh, my God.
No matter who doesn't want it to happen, if we all really got together and did what it is that we needed to do to become the success stories that each and every single one of us can become,
life could change.
For everybody.
Like, it could.
No matter who's trying to stop us, they couldn't stop us.
Yeah. I don't know how to even begin to do that. I mean, I guess you could say it starts with you as a person first.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to start. But, you know, I don't know what would be the next thing to do. Because it's kind of depressing at times.
It is. But I feel like we can all come up with the answer. We just got to find more people who are like us, get on the same accord, and make stuff happen.
But aren't we all the same? Technically, we're all human.
We are all human.
But we're just consuming different things at different times to make us think differently? Perhaps? No? Not
Maybe. I don't know if it's so much about the consumption. I think it's more so about... I think it's more so about what each one of us are given. I mean, we have different God-given talents, but it's just a matter of who decides to use that talent. Like, I think you mentioned this either in the last episode or the one before that, when we talked about, making your way to the top, but always, it was the last episode where we were talking about relationships.
Okay.
Be nice to everybody, pretty much on their way to the top.
Oh yeah.
Because you never know, like if you just out of nowhere happen to start coming back down, and that person's on the way to the top, they're never gonna forget you if you're nice.
That's true.
But they're also never gonna forget you if you weren't nice to them.
That's true.
So
sounds a lot to me. Ego. Then that's what it sounds like. Our egos are in the way, which is it's allowing us to have like this built up pride of, this is mine, this is me, I did this, I don't need you. Because you think about all these raps. You self-made, man. I had to do this on my own, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, that's all ego. I mean, at the end of the day, because it shouldn't really matter. It's like, okay, if I make it, let me help you get up here. Let me help you learn, teach you some of the things that I've learned so that you can pass it on, and then so on and so forth.
But you made a very good point in the last episode where we discussed relationships. You said that you learn, I believe, from millionaires that you can get more done, or you can go farther in life with a team than you could by yourself.
That's true. That's very true.
So I just wish, like, for those of y'all listening to us, for those of y'all watching us, take heed to that. Like, really take heed to that, and just think about that and remember that, because whatever it is in life that you're trying to accomplish now, even just the two of us, we're trying to build this.
Yeah.
We might not even be able to build this the way that we want to just by ourselves. We may be able to get to a certain point, but there's a lot of things dealing with this entity here that we don't even know about.
Man, what? There's going to come a point in time where there's going to be people that are going to be doing things for us. Not like for us, like, just for us, but I mean, like, this is going to get to a point where we have to have a bigger team around us because it's going to be scaled to the point where we can't just do this on us.
Right.
It has to be another level to this where we're going to have to put people in positions, which we want to do.
Of course.
Like, this is going to create opportunities for other people, and then it's going to be able to use those people ideas. They'll have different ideas, and then they'll know different people, and then we'll meet different people, and so on and so forth. And it's gonna take it to a place that we can't even imagine right now. I believe that. I truly believe that, man.
Yo, and the crazy thing about it, dog, we didn't even plan on talking about all of this today.
No, we definitely didn't.
We did not plan on talking about all of this today, but it just came up.
We definitely didn't. This is nowhere in the notes, bro.
Yo, but it's supposed to be said.
Yes, I agree.
That's the reason why. Like, it has to be said, and
I agree.
It was just placed on our hearts to say it today, because somebody needs to hear it.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Even if it was just the two of us that needed to say it so that each of us could hear it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure somebody out there watching us and listening to us needs to hear it as well.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Because, like you said, it came from the heart. And definitely this was not even in my peripheral to even talk about. So I hope that y'all take heed to some of those words that were spoken.
For real.
And get you a team. Get you a team. But first, the change starts with you first, though.
Yeah.
Remember that. Change starts with you. So if you see something that's in the world it just don't sit right with you, change it first with yourself. And then as you do that, hey, there's some like-minded people around you that want to do the same thing. Believe me.
And if you can't find them in reality, you can always find them in the metaverse.
Oh, man, because that world is most definitely getting built as we speak, B.
Boy. Speaking of the metaverse, brother, The Matrix. Yeah. The Matrix Resurrections came out a week or so ago. Did you see it yet?
I did.
Okay, I did too. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, I've been getting some mixed reviews from people, but me personally, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I mean, maybe because I saw it in IMAX. I don't know. I did pay that tab.
Excuse me.
And I don't know, maybe and the fact that I'll say this, I hadn't seen it since I don't even remember what the last one was, but I hadn't seen it in a while. So for me, it was kind of like a refresher. I kind of saw some old stuff that I had to remember on, but I thought the movie was great. From top to bottom, I loved it. And I thought there was a lot of subliminals in there that if you paid attention to, you got some information. But to me, overall, I thought the movie was good.
Yeah, I paid attention to some of the subliminals. Like, I feel like just in general, when it comes to that storytelling, they've been trying to kind of tell us certain things about life in general and what we can expect coming up. But as far as the movie goes, man, like I said before, like I watched all the previous Matrix movies before I saw Resurrection. So I watched the original. I watched Matrix Reloaded. I watched Animatrix. And the last one was Matrix, I think it was Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution.
Yeah, Matrix Revolution. And that was the one that I've seen the least out of all three. Like, I've probably only seen that like twice.
I've never even seen that one.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of the three. Like, it got very confusing to me when I was younger. I mean, it came out when I think it was like 2003 or 2004. So I was a teenager.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, so I didn't really pay much attention to it when I first watched it, and even as I tried to give it a second watch later on in life, as you know, I guess as a 20-something, I still found it to be pretty confusing. So when I watched it again before watching Resurrection, I was just like, oh, okay, I understood things better, but still, it was kind of boring to me. Like, Reloaded was my favorite one out of all three.
I don't remember them by names. Like, that's why I was saying I was glad that they in a new and spoiler alert, they went back and they kind of like
they touched on a lot of
recapped a lot of stuff. So I appreciated that because it helped me. I was like, oh, okay, that did happen. I remember that. That's what helped me.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about the movie was the fact that it kept trying to be aware of itself.
What you mean?
Like, okay, think about Neo's new role before he's reawakened from the Matrix, right? And what his team kept talking about, like he was a developer, right? And they kept saying, "Oh, you know, you're developing this game, like you remember what the game?" I don't want to spoil it for everybody who hasn't watched it.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, like he was developing a specific game, and pretty much it was the movie being aware of the movie.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, you, Mr. Thomas Anderson, you became famous off of these 3 games that you made, but you thought were real, and all of a sudden now we're coming out with the fourth one, and this is the fourth movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, that's too much.
I get it. And that's where when I was saying, like, I was talking to some other people, they was like, they feel like they could have tried a little more. They feel like they didn't put as much effort into it. I didn't think that until somebody brought that up to me, but I can see how somebody can make that argument. I thought it was still a little creative, you know.
I think it was just a cash grab.
Think so?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this one. Like,
really?
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Wow.
It was. I feel like it was just a cash grab that tried to play on, like, the nostalgia of the older movies.
Wow.
But didn't do such a great job at it.
Wow.
Because even in the movie, they talked about, reboots are bad. You know, Hollywood is trying to do all these things with reboots, and it's like, okay, well, the last Matrix movie was made almost 20 years ago. And what are y'all technically doing now with this one? Like, y'all are rebooting it.
Yeah, that's true. I think after this, they shouldn't try to do it no more. I think they still are, but
I'm sure they are. It's a cash cow.
Yeah, that I don't think they should do anymore. But so, ladies and gentlemen, if you have yet to see the movie, please, I think you should still check it out. Let us know what you think. If you think it was a cash grab, you know, that's understandable. If you can see it, go see it in IMAX. That might change your perspective a little bit. Because everybody that I did know that saw it, they didn't see it in IMAX. I don't know. Maybe that makes a difference.
I didn't see it in IMAX. It's on HBO Max, and I paid for that. So
see, that's the thing. You didn't get the experience, though. Although I did just learn something, though, B. AMC apparently has a better thing than IMAX. AMC says they have... Okay, so apparently when you go to IMAX, it's like a one projector, and then they just have the whole surround sound around it. That makes you give you a better feel. But AMC apparently has 2 laser projector. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but apparently the seats actually move with the movie. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yo, apparently it's supposed to be better. A lot of people don't know that. I'm just putting y'all on. Go check it out.
Did they cut you a check?
No, they didn't. But we might be partnering up soon. Who knows? Who knows?
That's all I'm wondering, you know.
Who knows?
If they in some way, shape, or form help to fund this podcast, then yeah, shout out to y'all. But until then, I am not saying their names on camera.
Just saying, man.
Even though we done talked about a whole movie.
Yeah, we did. That was in their theaters, and was it in other theaters?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, who knows? Just go check out the movie, y'all. If you have.
But we say all of that to say, I definitely feel like there's a lot of stuff in the whole Matrix franchise that touches on what we're about to experience or what people are already experiencing in VR.
Man, it is here and it is coming to stay. It ain't going nowhere.
So, yeah, it's a lot. But, you know, if y'all are ready for it, which I'm not ready for it. I don't think a lot of people are ready for it. But those of you who are ready for it, and y'all can take advantage of the money that there is to be made, you know, with virtual reality, by all means, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. Make that money.
Yeah.
I don't have multiple bands like that to be dropping on Oculus and stuff like that, you know, to be flipping and all that. I ain't got it right now, but more power to whoever does.
I will say this, and this is something in general, I want to just give out some game to people. Like, with this being something that's so new and is, like, on the rise, start to learn about it. Teach yourself. Educate yourself now about it, because this is going to really create a lot of opportunities for people and a lot of jobs and different things. So this is it's in a new space to where you really can get ahead of it before it's like already here, and then you see all these people that have made millions off of it from it. Nah, why not educate yourself now? But it's gonna take some work. You got to put in some work now.
For real.
And I think that is something that I'm learning about it as well.
Message.
But I did see Elon Musk say he said he's been trying to get people to slow down about AI for a long time, and they never listened. That's a little scary.
Wow.
So I don't know how to feel about that one yet.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, brother. Because I don't know if you've seen, they have these gloves now that they're creating that allows you to feel everything that's inside of the world. So if you, let's say you inside of the world, you put these gloves on, you touching a bottle, you're going to be able to feel that bottle with all your pressure points and everything.
That is so weird.
Eh?
I mean, you still can't feel the temperature of the bottle. You still can't feel condensation from the bottle.
Not yet. Not yet.
That's too much, man.
Not yet.
That is way too much.
Brother, they're going to make this so real that we won't even be able to, like, defer it from the real world without taking, well, when you take off your glasses, I guess. But that's how real they're trying to make it.
They really trying to put us to sleep like in the Matrix, man.
Look, that's the scary part. It's like, come on. What do we do? Like, you have real estate now in virtual reality. Real estate, bro. You can literally go out in the virtual world, go purchase you some real estate. This dude he built a house next to Snoop Dogg's house. Snoop Dogg got him a mansion. This dude went out to go buy his mansion next to Snoop Dogg. Mind you, they're spending real money, B. They ain't spending no virtual. Well, yeah, they take their real money, convert it into virtual currency so that they can do this. B. We're living in a new generation.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
We're living in a new generation.
Man.
Like, have you noticed the new NFTs that people have been putting up, like of like the different apes and the whales and just these different cartoon art characters on their profiles?
I haven't noticed, no.
Oh, pay attention, my brother. Pay attention. This artwork that you see, it is, first and foremost, they pay like thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get it. And it's almost like a status symbol, but this artwork is it's just it's appreciating in value. And if you pay attention to it, a lot of like celebrities have it. A lot of normal people probably can't afford it.
Right.
Like Eminem just bought one for it was like close to $400,000. It's a digital artwork. It's a picture. He bought it for $400,000. Just a picture, bro. Just so he can be in this community that other people are accepted into.
Wow.
That's going to convert to this whole virtual thing. I'm just saying. Tap in now. Tap in now, ladies and gentlemen. Because it's coming whether you like it or not. So I would just say try to get ahead of the curve.
What's next? This is depressing.
It is depressing. But I guess you could say on a lighter note, I did hear a story about a kid wanting to throw a birthday party. Mm-hmm. And you know how we used to throw birthday parties in the day. Hey, Mom, can I invite all my friends over to come over to the house in the crib? Yeah, not no more. He wanted to throw a birthday party, and he said, yeah, Mom, can all my friends come to Roblox online, and we have a party there? So, yeah, that's what happened. For those of you that don't know what Roblox is, it's a global platform where millions of people gather together every day to imagine, create, and share experience with each other in an immersive, user-generated 3D world where limitless imagination can happen.
What happened to the good old days where people just used to have birthday parties in the McDonald's playpen?
That's slowly fading away. I don't even think, do they even still have playpens?
I don't even know. Like, I haven't been to McDonald's in so long, but like growing up as a kid, like you were it.
What?
If you had a birthday party at McDonald's, everybody would play in the play place, and
bro,
or when I was growing up, I never went to Chuck E. Cheese, but there was a place I know they had it in New York. It was called Discovery Zone. Mm-hmm. I guess it's like Chuck E. Cheese, but on steroids. I don't know. I've never been to Chuck E. Cheese, but like even still, I think I only know of one Chuck E. Cheese in existence today. Yeah, and that's by Mall of Georgia. Yeah, I don't know of any others, but I'm sure they exist. But yeah, like what happened to those days,
bro? Think about it. I remember as a kid going to McDonald's, right, just hoping that my parents wanted to go inside to go get some food because I'm going, yo, what they say, what you want to eat? Yo, I want this. I'm running straight to the playpen.
Right.
Straight to the playpen to go play. That ain't even, I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Especially now with the vid. So.
You're right.
It's different, bro. We're not in the same age, you know, that we used to be in. This is now a different world, brother. And we have watched it.
And the crazy part about it is I think that, you know, I'm not even going to get too into it, man. I'm going to take the tinfoil hat off. But, you know, I think that's probably why Marion has been introduced.
Oh,
and
man.
I ain't talking about the singer. You know what I'm saying? I think it's all part of a plan.
Oh, Lord. I didn't even think about that.
I'm not saying it's not real, but I think it's all part of a plan.
Wow, B. Come on, B. Don't take my mind there. I wasn't even thinking about that. B. Wow. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way.
All right. This ain't the conspiracy theory episode. This ain't a conspiracy theory show.
You right.
So I'm not even going to take it there.
You right.
But to lighten things up real quick,
yeah, man.
I want to go ahead and get into the dessert before we actually get to the main topic of this episode, right?
Yes, sir.
And the reason why I want to do that is because it is really touching on a lot of the points that we actually wanted to talk about today. Like a lot of the stuff that we discussed, I mean, that pretty much came off the dome. But this right here, we planned it. So before we get to the answers of last week, Mike, what was the question of the week?
So the previous question of the week was, can men and women be just platonic friends or best friends?
Shout out to every single one of y'all who answered because, man, we got a lot of responses on this one.
Oh, y'all liked this one.
Facts. So let's take a look here. Starting with the Amber Nicole. She said, I do think guys and girls can be platonic friends. It's rare, though.
I ain't mad at it.
I ain't either. I mean, I really don't understand how rare it is. I mean, I think that it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Like it's more common than we think about it, but probably too many people like overthink it. I think. And to kind of touch on that point, actually, one of my close female friends answered, and she said, yes, Brandon and I have proven this over the many years we've been best friends. So I've known her since I was probably 24. And, you know, we've been friends for a while, and we met through an ex of mine. And I've never really, like, wanted to smash. I've never really wanted to, like, date her or anything like that. You know, maybe when I first met her, I don't remember what I thought. But, you know, I was with somebody at the time. Like, I just know that it's like, okay, it's a friend of a friend. You know, I never wanted to take it there. But, you know, it was just another girl I met. But as time went on, like, we definitely grew close. And even now, I don't even think about, like, I could never. You know what I'm saying? I could never, you know, see her in that light.
Right.
And it's crazy because we went to, I remember a few years ago, we went to a Dairy Queen, just chilling, kicking it. And one of the workers there, she was like, oh, well, that's usually how, like, some of the best relationships start out. You know, they start out as, like, really best friends, and then, you know, y'all could be together forever. And we just looked at each other and we was like, nah.
That's real.
we just don't look at each other like that.
That's real. That shows. That's a prime example then right there.
Yeah. But, you know, I personally think the only reason why I said those two answers is because pretty much my answer is that I think it's possible for men and women to be platonic friends and even best friends. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and hear your answer.
My personal answer would be, I think that it is possible. I just think that it's a very, very thin line. I do think, because when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it in a form of being in a relationship. I don't think that it's nothing wrong with it. I just think that when it comes to, like, hanging out, that it's like when you're in a relationship, it's almost like you have to have the boundary set, and I think it has to be some communication amongst both sides so that, hey, you know, your partner knows, and that way it's no, like, misconstruedness. But I do think it is definitely possible. But like I just said, it's just a very thin line. And
you know what? That's a very good point. It's a valid point. Boundaries do need to be set. Because I'll never forget, like around that same time I told you about the Dairy Queen story, I was actually dating a young woman who was very jealous of other women. Mm-hmm. Like, anytime I would mention another girl, we were just dating. She wasn't my girlfriend. Like, we weren't official. Mm-hmm. We went out casually every once in a while. We were romantically interested in each other, but we never had a title. Mm-hmm. She would always be jealous. And when my friend came along, like, oh, we're going out to lunch together. Oh, she just helped me get this new job. So we're going to lunch to celebrate. She threw a whole fit. She got, like, she was upset. She was not with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on, pump your brakes there. Like, I understand, like we're thinking about becoming exclusive at some point, but this young lady was in my life way before you. She's helped me get through a lot. I'm not just going to cut her off just because you get upset that, number one, I just said she got me a whole new job out here. You know what I'm saying? She's helping me make bread. And you going to be upset about that because I'm going out to lunch with her, or she's taking me to lunch because we got, like, come on. So I cut her off. I don't play that.
Understandable.
I really don't. Like, my friends, especially friends of mine who've been in my life for years, I'm not cutting them off for nobody.
What about your wife?
My wife is going to understand. Like, she needs to before I propose to her. Like, if she doesn't understand, then I don't think I can marry somebody who doesn't want me to be friends with somebody who's been in my life forever. Unless that person actually did me wrong and my wife sees it and understands it and is like, yo, you know what? That person's no good for you. You need to let them go. That's the only way that I can see that happening. But if that person never did me wrong, if that person's been by my side through thick and thin, they're going to continue to be by my side. And, even, be friends with my wife, or even be like, I don't know, they don't have to be best friends, but they got to be cordial with each other.
Yeah.
Then, that's what I picture. Like, I don't think that the woman who I'm going to marry or supposed to marry, if I ever do get married, I don't think that woman is just going to be jealous of any other woman that comes in my life, or any woman that's been in my life for so long.
Right.
I don't think so.
What's the next one be?
Nice Nasty Podcast. They say, of course.
Of course.
Now, that's all that they did say, but, I would love to hear them talk about it a little bit more in a future episode. But yeah, I mean, again, like, that goes back to what we were saying. I agree. Who's next on your list, Mike?
Uncle DeBo. Uncle DeBo says, yes, and they can be best friends, too. And I asked him as well, even in a relationship, he was like, I believe you can. My two best female friends, one is married and another one is engaged. So he's basically saying he has two female best friends, who are both in a relationship.
Serious relationships like that.
Yeah. So he's saying that it can work.
I think it can.
Yeah. We have from Moore Estates. He said, friends, but not best friends. And then he also says, yes, if you're single, it can work. Y'all are friends at the end of the day. He's saying, I guess if you're single, you're still friends, technically. Mm-hmm. And then as a married man, ain't no other woman being my best friend.
I understand that.
Yeah.
We got one from Diamond May Dre.
Yeah.
She said, yes, it's possible, even if you're in a relationship. But that's got to be established before the relationship comes along. It wouldn't work if the friendship was new and the relationship was older. Which I can agree with. It kind of plays along with what I'm going through. Like, my friend Michaela, she's been in my life for almost a decade. Mm-hmm. Any woman I get with, any woman who I'm potentially, going to be in a relationship with, she's going to have to understand it. If she doesn't understand it, then chances are you're most likely not the woman for me. Like, I've never cheated. I'm trustworthy. I'm not going to creep around with somebody who you think I might creep around with just because she's a woman. Mm-hmm. That's my friend. I'm not going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I think it all comes to trust. Like, you got to have trust in your relationship. But again, you also have to have boundaries as well.
That's true. Jay Stana said, They can be best friends, but if they're in a relationship with someone else, they can't. So he's saying that it can't work then. So it seemed like it's a lot of, we have some mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Some mixed answers on it.
And then I replied and said, so let's say you have a friend of the opposite sex who you grew up with and it's like a sister to you. Would you cut her off every time you enter into a new relationship? Jay didn't reply, but somebody else replied on his behalf. So Will to Create Entertainment said, yeah, they can. But just like bro Jay Sunna said, if they're in a relationship, then no. To respond to what you ask about cutting sister-like females off every time you're in a relationship, you don't have to do that, but you definitely can't spend as much time with her like you did while you're single.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I do too.
Yeah, that's good. You want to say next?
It's Drea Nicole said, I honestly say 100% yes when there is respect and boundaries are in place. Not every dope person we meet are we meant to be involved romantically with. God places people in our lives that are there for a reason or a season and to help one another grow. When it comes to relationships, if someone doesn't feel comfortable talking to / being around the friend while a significant other is present, then that's a sign right there that some boundaries are being crossed on either or both sides. That was deep.
It was.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand that too. Again, it has to deal with boundaries. Like, you got to have boundaries. And, okay, yeah, sure. If the person you're with is not comfortable with who your friend is of the opposite sex, that could be a red flag. So you got to have that conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of ties into what I said earlier about the young lady who flipped, who I was dating. We had a conversation. She wasn't willing to compromise. I wasn't willing to compromise. So we just butt heads, and it was time to say adios.
Gotta throw up the deuces.
Right.
So from Jatani Rivers, she said, I think men and women can be friends, but if they spend too much time together alone, then one friend will most likely catch feelings because that's just nature in my opinion. There has to be boundaries in the friendship for it to work out as just platonic friends. I can understand that. I've had that personally in my life. Like, I've had it where we started off as just friends,
Right.
but over time of just being friends, it's just that person ended up catching feelings. And it was like, now it's like, it's tough because you want to just stay friends, but at the same time, that person has maybe a slightly different hope in, I don't know, in another agenda. So that's why I said the thin line comes.
Yeah.
That's why I said thin line comes.
Shout out to my cousin Deja. She replied and said, yes, boundaries have to be set. Being respectful of each other's relationships and how the friendship started is a factor. So,
That is.
It definitely is a factor. And it's crazy. Like, almost all these answers include the word boundaries.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, a lot of us think it's possible, but yeah, you have to have boundaries in it.
Yeah.
If you don't have boundaries set, then nah, I don't think it's going to work at all.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, to each and every single one of y'all who responded to this question of the week. Like I said, we had a great amount of responses, and I'm really liking the answers that we get when we do a post versus a question on our IG story.
They're a lot more in depth.
Most definitely. You're not limited to a certain amount of characters that you can type into a little square box.
That's true.
So, yeah, we might just keep doing the questions of the week this way. I think it's pretty interesting.
I think it's definitely working.
So, thank you guys very much once again. We really appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank y'all.
So, the question of the week from last week and all the answers that we received really tie into what we wanted to talk about for this episode. Romantic relationships. Now, last week we talked about relationships in general. Remember how we said it can be a ship. It takes you from point A to point B.
Yes.
Romantic relationships can do the same thing. At the end of the day, it's still a ship, right? There are a lot of ways that your ship can sink, especially when it comes to outside influences.
Yes.
For example, I know a lot of people tend to be conflicted about putting your relationships on social media. Like, remember, well, I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure you might have gone through it as well. When social media first came out, like when Facebook was first popping, when Instagram first came out and stuff like that, we would put pictures of our significant others online. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then people would be like, oh, y'all are cute together, blah, 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 whatever. Then y'all break up. And it's like, oh, what happened to so-and-so? Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't let everybody in your business. Yeah. Now everybody want to know what's going on. Yeah. But at the same time, like if you constantly posting pictures of your significant other, people from the outside looking in could be like, oh, well, I know her or I know him. Let me mess with their head. Like, I'm trying to get with him or I'm trying to get with her. Yeah. Let's break them apart. Let's do whatever we can to break them apart. Like, those outside influences can sink your ship. But it's up to you to not let that happen.
That's tough.
Right. Don't let that water from the outside, because we know what happens when water gets into a ship.
Oh, we going down.
That ship is supposed to float on the water. Like, you're supposed to float above the bush. You feel me?
That's true.
Don't let outside influences sink your ship. And I say that to say this. Romantic relationships, just like platonic relationships, business relationships, all these other ships that'll take us from point A to point B are very much needed in life. Yes. There's a reason why men and women were created, right? Men and women exist at the same time because we are meant to cohabitate. Like, it really bugs me when I hear women say, I don't need a man for anything.
Common.
It's common, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but it really plagues my mind when I hear that. I can understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, I will never say I don't need a woman, right? And I don't expect women to really say they don't need a man. Mm-hmm. If you look at the world that we live in, for the most part, men built it. Mm-hmm. Men built the tech, men built the buildings. Like, our job is to provide, protect, and build for the generations to come. Mm-hmm. Fight wars for our women and children. Rebuild society for our women and children. Like, that's what we're here for, right? And to make sure that we set up the next generation for success. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people aren't really setting up the next generation for success, but that's where we come in, right? I feel like we are on the side of those people who are trying to set up the next generation for success. Now, Mike, I'm not trying to get all into your business or anything like that. You are a happily married man, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you and your wife discussed children at all? Or is it too soon for you guys to think about that?
We have discussed it, and it's something that's just like, we want children, but at the same time, it's like, we okay, we don't have children. We at that place.
I feel you. So, okay. Yeah, I asked that because that is a part of romantic relationships. Like, I feel like the main reason why romantic relationships exist are the same reason why we, as men and women, have different reproductive organs, right? We're meant to get together and we're meant to continue populating the earth. But I always say marry before you carry. And I know I'm not the only one who says that, but I really feel like we serve a purpose in this world, but also at the same time, when it comes to finding romance, when it comes to getting romantically involved with a partner, it's supposed to be fun, you know? I've never been married, so I can't really speak too much on this. So Mike, in a little bit, I'm about to let you take it away. Tell us about your experiences, like what the ultimate goal was for you in dating and finding your wife, right? I'm still searching. And as of right now, I say that the dating pool in 2022, can't say 2021 anymore, but the dating pool in 2022 has pee in it. You understand? And it's on both sides. It's on the men's side and it's on the women's side. I honestly feel like it's a little bit more on the women's side than it is on the men's because we are not as picky. But the dating pool is shallow and it's got pee in it. So we need to do what we can or what we need to do to clean it up. Because I am sick and tired of seeing our ships not being built because we're constantly at odds with each other. Yeah. Now, for those of y'all who are constantly on social media, y'all would most likely have seen a gender war spark between men and women, especially in our community. And as much as it pains me to like really touch on this, like I only talk about it for a little bit, but I really wish that we had more unity between men and women, especially in the black community, because we need that.
Yes.
You know, Public Enemy said we got to fight the powers that be, man. And I really think that there's a lot of powers at work that are constantly trying to keep us apart, especially media. You know,
Amen.
I'm so sick and tired of seeing older single brothers and older single sisters who are just like, yo, this is what I'm looking for. And if I can't find it, I'm good with being alone for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what we were made for, man.
Nope. I agree with you.
I really don't think that's what we were made for. So, you know, please, for the people, touch on your experiences going through the dating pool before you got married and what it was like to end up finding your person, because a lot of us still haven't found him or her. And we want to make sure that, I mean, I don't want to say we want to make sure we know when it's right. I mean, I'm sure if it's right, we will know, hopefully. And every person's experience is different. So your experience might be different than mine.
That's true.
Your experience might also be different than somebody else who's listening, but your experience might also be the same as somebody who's listening.
That's true.
So go ahead and shine some light on that, brother. Let us know how everything was in terms of your romantic relationships. Maybe not in depth, because I don't know if she's listening to this episode.
Nah,
but,
she knows.
Go ahead, brother.
I think that for me, the way it started was first just getting out of a relationship, and then I got to a point where I did not want one. And by me going through so many different bad relationships, I had learned what I really do want. But it took a long period of time for me just being by myself. And when I was by myself for a long time, I just learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about putting me first. Mm-hmm. And in doing so, when I did get back into the dating game, I just saw some things that, I saw some red flags that I said I wasn't going to deal with no more. So I was okay with being patient. Right. So first and foremost, I see a lot of times in this generation or this whole dating thing that a lot of people aren't patient. They're not patient with themselves. They're not patient with waiting for that person. They kind of want to rush to get into this whole fairy tale thing. And first and foremost, ain't none a fairy tale. Like, the relationships are real. You're going to go through some stuff. You're going to go through some ups and downs. So I think you have to learn to be patient. But I don't know where this whole, like, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, like, kind of thing came about. I think it's from past hurt. Ultimately. Because I think I was in that space, like, man, I don't want to deal with no other woman. Like, bro, like, if I thought you were attractive, I was like, man, get out of here. You just like the last one. Yeah. And you kind of have to learn to heal from that. And even sometimes, bro, I find myself mentally, like, I'll go back to that place. And I have to, like, realize, okay, that's not the case. But I think for me, dude, I just, when I would date, I would look at certain things. And if I knew, like, man, that's not it. Like, I would, like, okay, cool, we can't. It was just, like, be like a checklist. I'm like, nah, that's not it. And I wouldn't even play around with it. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't. This is a problem that I think we have nowadays. I wouldn't even put myself in a physical situation with that person to where now it's done created some kind of bond to where now it's hard to let go. I would put that roadblock there before they even can get any further, because I'm like, this is not going nowhere. I know this is not going nowhere. So I think that's where one of the things that we have to do now is when you're vetting people, when you're dating people, hey, realize, man, like, that's not it. So you have to go in with the intentions of wanting to be more than just a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And I think ultimately that's what I did. When I was single, I was preparing myself for marriage. Like, I would act like I was a married man, like, in the sense of the way I carry myself. I went out at the club looking for every girl. Nah, bro, I'm at the house chilling. I'm educating myself. I'm trying to become a better man. Like, I'm carrying myself for when I get there, that it's not like, all right, I got to hurry up. Now I got to act right now. Let me dust myself off so I'll be ready. No, when I got to the point where I found my wife, like, I'm like, okay, this is what I want. Like, I'm ready to do this. Like, let's go. Like, I'm ready to go. Now, was I completely perfect? No. But I had done the legwork to make sure that when I seen it, when I recognized it, because I do think you get to a point where you recognize it. Like, you'll know. You know how they say you'll know when you know? Yeah. You'll know. And I was just made sure that I was prepared for that so that I can continue to move forward. And that's how it kind of worked out for me. So
that's what's up.
You know, like you said, everybody's story is different though, but
but you said something really key that definitely stuck out to me. When it comes to, especially in the beginning of a relationship, that physical connection that you stayed away from, I think that definitely clouds a lot of people's judgment. And that's probably why a lot of us end up in the situations that we end up in.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, we can't let go of a person, even if they're toxic for us, because of that physical connection.
Man.
And I've been in that situation 3 times. So clearly I didn't learn from it the first 2 times, and I put myself through it a 3rd time.
Yeah.
But let's just say I've learned from it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen again. But man, like let's just say there have been 3 women in my lifetime who, in recent years, within the last decade, who I've gotten physical with on the first night. 2 of them were my 2 longest relationships that I've ever had. But once they were over, it was hard to let them go.
Yeah.
Like extremely hard to let them go. Because we had been physical from day 1. And the 3rd woman, we were only speaking for like a month and a half. And we got physical on our first date. And after that, it was just like, there was so much stuff that we weren't even ready for. We just parted ways. And that was still tough to let go.
Yeah, man.
But just imagine not having that physical aspect until marriage, if that's the goal, or until later on in life after you figured out that that person is what you want, like everything that you want, because soul ties are real.
It is, brother. It is.
Soul ties are very real, and I get it. I don't want to just be tied to everybody, because I've noticed, certain traits that I've picked up from people who I've had soul ties with. And they don't just go away.
Nope.
And I've noticed that those women have picked up certain traits of mine. And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
But if you don't realize that while you're dating and you just doing that, you going all around like that, it becomes so much harder for you. And then like when y'all break away, that's where that hurt comes from. And then you end up getting into a cycle where like I don't need no man for nothing. He just like all these other men. And it's like, are you the problem? Is he the problem? You don't realize how much stuff you picked up along the way that has made you the person that you are. And it just makes it even harder for you going forward into your next relationship, because now you have some issues that.
Yo, and that's the thing, man. Like, a lot of us don't think about it being us as the problem. We always want to blame everybody else. Like, there have been times where, again, I've been cheated on before. And when it happened to me the first time, I was like, oh, she ain't this, she ain't that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She a garden tool for the sake of the algorithm. But screw it. I said it in the last episode, but I was talking about a car. But y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She a garden tool, whatever. She a thought. Second person who I dealt with, I was like, oh, I've been cheated on before. My past is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And then she turned around and did it to me, because this is what she told me. She said, oh, I figured all men are the same and you were just going to do it to me anyway, so I was going to hurt you before you hurt me.
That's trauma.
What?
That's trauma, right there.
And yes, I recognize that as trauma. And I'm like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, I've done nothing to you, but that's what you're going to hit me with? And you know what? It is what it is. Those situations are in my past. I pray that I never have to go through that again, right? I don't condone cheating. I don't like cheating. I will never cheat on somebody, so I would never want them to cheat on me. But if you're going to do something like that because of your past, then come on, don't even get with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't waste your time. Don't waste my time.
Yeah. But you got to heal from those things. Sometimes
you do.
You don't even you don't even realize the hurt that you have experienced from some things if you've never really like talked about it or dealt with it, through therapy or something like that. Because for me, I definitely didn't realize how much hurt I was carrying around, and now it's like, now I'm just getting to a point where it's like, man, I need some therapy, bro, because I done been traumatized before in my past.
Same here. And any woman that I've dealt with in recent months, like any woman who I've, started talking to, even, just as friends first, I'm just like letting them know, like, yo, I don't want to get into anything serious right now because I'm still affected by those last two situations, like of the cheating. Like, I don't, not to say that I go around thinking that all women are the same, because I know not all women are the same. But if my last two exes cheated on me, is that really just something wrong with them? Or is there something wrong with me as well? Is there something that I'm not seeing that somebody from the outside looking in can, I can speak to them and they can tell me like certain things I need to change. And, I've been working on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get into anything serious with anybody until I'm at peace with myself and I've made peace with my past trauma. Because I don't want to go through that again.
You made me think of something. So back to the first question that you asked me, like when I was doing the whole dating thing, right? What is something that helped me figure out? A lot of times when you are dating, right? That person who's going to be, quote unquote, the one for you is not going to be what you're used to. Every time I was with somebody, I got with somebody previously and it didn't work out, I went after that person. That was me. Like, I chose that person, everything. But it got to a point where I stopped trying and I just started allowing. It's like, you can't really explain it, but I just allowed life to for everything to kind of come to me. I stopped looking and I allowed, first and foremost, I put myself first. I put God in my life and I just allowed life to kind of happen. And then some way just like situations happen and I just kind of figured out, whoa, that's it. Like, that's her. Like, that's where it's like, you'll know when you know. It's something that is internal versus me just using the physical eye, like looking, damn, she bad, yo. That's the one. Because that's how I used to think.
Right.
And then it was ultimately like, it was based on lust. It was based on just me picking somebody. No, that person that is for you, 9 times out of 10, you ain't even going to be really paying attention to her like that because she's not. It's going to come in a different way than you're used to. It's going to come honestly, it's going to come in an internal side, on the spiritual side. That's where that connection is going to, that's where that bond is going to be. And typically it's going to be something that's different from you. So that's what I noticed. That was a big thing that I noticed from my past.
So, yeah, man, you definitely made a lot of good points with that. And I agree with you 100%. I really do. Because, boy, like, as far as us men go, I mean, I know I say I can speak for myself only, but I know guys, we're physical creatures. Like, we're definitely visual a lot when it comes to women.
Oh, yeah.
And one person who I've said, yo, she is bad.
Yeah.
She is bad. But because I think she's bad, don't mean that she's a good fit for me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she is bad.
There's a strong physical attraction.
And that's all it is.
Physical.
I know nothing else about this woman. Nothing.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Maybe a few things here and there, but that's it. Like, nothing.
Yep.
And, just that physical, like me going after a specific type of person, like, I definitely had to pump my brakes. Like, I'm not pursuing her. I'm not trying to go after her. That's eye candy. Yeah. But I want soul food. You know what I'm saying?
That's real talk, though. That's real talk. I hope y'all really caught that gem that he just said. Like, it's not about just eye candy that's going to spoil. It's about some soul food, like inner stuff, something that's going to really feed your soul. Because that's the one thing that I could say about my wife was that I wasn't just attracted to her physically, man. I was attracted to her spiritually. Like, it was something internal about her that, like, I knew, man, I would love that forever. Like, it won't be something that just will fade away. Because I'm going to give y'all the reality of, marriage, bruh. It's not easy. Like, I may come around, I may smile, I may be happy. You may see us together happy, but, dude, behind the scenes sometimes, bruh, it takes strength. It takes some times where you got to really, really strong and have like some toughness about yourself, because there's some moments where, bro, you're tested and you're two imperfect individuals trying to come together to make something work. If you ain't got it together by yourself, bro, how can you imagine coming together with somebody else and trying to make it work? And if you're two broken people coming together, oh Lord. Yeah. So, dude, get yourself together first. I commend you for being patient and taking your time and vetting and understanding things that internal about yourself that you need to fix. Because a lot of men don't do that, and they just get into these relationships and they're not even thinking about that. So that's actually very wise what you're doing.
Yo, cause straight up, I had to learn.
Yeah.
I really had to learn. Like I said, 3 of the most serious situations that I've been in, 2 serious relationships, and one that I thought possibly could go somewhere eventually at whatever point. They were all like, they started off physical, very, very physical, man.
Yeah.
And it was hard to get out of that situation. It's like, I never learned.
Yeah.
I did that 3 times. So I didn't learn after the first one. I didn't learn after the second one. After the third one, something clicked and said, yo, you need to do something different. Otherwise, there will be a 4th and then maybe a 5th. And the next thing you know, I'm just going to keep racking up bodies, building connections with these women physically. And I'm taking on their traits, their traumas, their negative energies, you know what I'm saying? And I'm giving that same thing to them. I don't want to do that no more.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
But I had to go through, like, I had to go through those certain experiences to really, like, think about it and be like, yo, you can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting these women as well. Whether you believe it or not, like, there was something in me that I was giving out to these women as well. And I ain't talking about the devil D, you feel me? 'Cause I ain't got the devil D, but I got, that's neither here nor there. There was something in me, I think, that I was, definitely giving to these women as a part of these soul ties that I was building with them. You know what I'm saying? And not only was I adding on to their hurt, they were adding on to my hurt.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. Like, when you think about it, that's a lot.
Yes, brother, it is. Yes, Lord.
So imagine all these other people out here, these men and these women who are getting in these relationships, and they start off very physical. No matter what happens in those relationships, you're going to be stuck because all you could think about is, they have a temper about them. They want to get physical, like they like to throw hands or whatever. But the D is good. The kitty is good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the foundation that you have laid. So
yeah,
that foundation is not stable whatsoever.
Kitty's so good, man. Case in point, like, these people haven't even had her cat, but you heard the story about Shorty. I think it was like a 22-year-old girl who's in prison right now, got a 7-year sentence for stabbing a girl. She's now the new prison bae. This 22-year-old young lady, so many guys swear she's attractive. I think she's okay. I don't think she's attractive at all.
Man.
I just think she's average. And there's nothing wrong with being average. But these guys are putting her on a pedestal like she's Kelly Rowland.
Eye candy.
Right? That's what it is. Like, she's taking pictures in her prison jumpsuit, prison sweats, like, hair not even done. Like, so many guys are drooling over her. This 22-year-old girl, like I said, she stabbed somebody in the neck. And she went viral a few days ago because so many men find her attractive. They swear she's so fine. And, oh my God, some of the responses that these idiots are just putting up online, like, some dude was like, what's your bond? W-2's finna go out, and I've been saving for a crib, but I'll spend it to get you out.
Come on, bro.
Somebody else was like, what's your cash app, baby girl? Somebody was like, what's your info? I'm gonna hold you down the rest of your bed. Somebody was like, she can stab me while I'm sleeping.
Stupid.
Hard eyes.
Stupid.
Like, are you serious?
They're not thinking, bro, clearly. As you can see, that's the cycle that it is. You're thinking with the head down below, not the head above. That's all that is. Because I've been in a relationship that could have been almost taken to that point.
Yo.
It's not.
And I I think I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, you don't want no parts of that. I've been in a situation to where, you know, it's almost gotten taken to that point, and I saw that red flag, and I was like, no, this ain't it. But you want to know the crazy part about it is, like I said, it was close, but I had started on a physical level, and even though some crazy stuff had happened, bruh, it was still hard to break away. Like, I still went back after I said, I'm not going back.
Hey.
That's how powerful that is if you're not paying attention. And it took a while to break away.
Yo, it's crazy that you mentioned that because I was into something very similar. I dated a woman one time who had a temper, right? So there was one time where she almost put hands on me. Like, she wanted to put hands on me, but of course I had to stop. You know, I had to stop her from doing that. You know, I wasn't going to be physical with her. I wasn't going to put hands on her, but I had to make sure, like, yo, I shook her out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, fortunately, nothing came to blows to where she, you know, grabbed a weapon, anything like that, or I, you know, had to hit her, anything like that. But even if we did any of those things, I'm sure it would have been tough for us to break away because we started on the physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this person is going through this at the time and they're threatening me this way because of past hurt. Yeah. But the kitty's so good, I'm just going to stay anyway because that kitty bomb. You feel me?
Yep.
You know, like, nah.
Nope. You can't do that.
You got to break away from that cycle, yo.
Yeah. And until you really understand that you have to do something different to get a different result, you know, you're going to continue to get the same thing that you've been getting. And that's one of the things that I can tell you that I consciously did. After my second relationship, bro, where I got hurt, I consciously said, I want something different. And it's going to start, it has to start with you. And I started with myself first. And I can say that being where I am at today, it has given me a different result from what I was giving myself in the past. So you got to do something different. You cannot do the same thing expecting a different result. That's insanity, brother.
That's a fact.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you really understood that, because that was some real game that was given out from the both of us, man. It's no joke to be played with. Like, bro, we talking about your life. Don't waste your time, man. At
all, because it's not worth it.
It's not.
And to all y'all dummies out there talking about Prison Bae, come on, cut that out.
You stupid.
Like, first it was Jeremy Meeks, that dude that got a modeling contract after he got out of prison. Like, I don't even remember what he was in there for. But because he was light skinned with quote unquote good eye or good looking eyes or pretty eyes or whatever the heck they were, like, women were drooling over this guy.
See, that's the world that we live in.
Tats all over his face. I think he had a teardrop. And you know, if you got a teardrop on your eye, that typically means that you done took somebody out.
But that's the world that we live in.
Now this new Prison Bae, like, come on, y'all need to stop it, man. Like you said, man, so many of us are thinking with the head down below. And even when it comes to the women, granted, they don't have a head down below like us, but they got something similar, right?
Yeah.
Like, it similar but very different, extremely different, but, you know.
Look, just like SWV said, use your heart and not your eyes.
Message.
This guy breaking out R&B classics.
Come on, man. That song is a gem within it. Use your heart and not your eyes, and it will save you so much heartache down the line. Real talk.
Bars.
Just saying.
Key.
Ding. I'm saying, brother. Like, think about this, y'all. We're talking from past experience. So if you are in a situation like that now, if you see red flags, if you started off in the physical sense, dude, try to find something that's deeper. And if you lack that, if you don't see that, just don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, bruh.
Yo, especially for our younger brothers out there, man. Like, those of y'all who haven't experienced relationships and dating the way that we have. Like, I wish somebody was there to tell us this stuff when I was 21, 20, 19. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish. It would have saved me so much heartache. You understand? I probably could have avoided half of the BS that I've been through when it comes to dating.
Yep. And I'm telling you, dude, if you listening to this, right, and it's something that resonates with you. Like you feel something like this. It's like, dang, like they telling me something. That's typically the way life works. It'll give you little quiet reminders, bruh. Don't ignore it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Don't ignore.
Feel some type of way about this, chances are we're talking to you.
Yep.
So take heed to what we're saying, listen to what we're saying, and live by it. Like, come on.
For real.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is relationships in the romantic sense. And you know what? We really didn't touch on too much of what I thought we were going to talk about, but I think we can save that for another, because I think we can create so many different episodes on relationships. Like, there's so many different dynamics to relationships, but this was just something, again, that somebody needed to hear.
Yeah.
Like, this was not in the notes. Like, everything we just said, as far as like the physical, that was not in the notes at all.
It wasn't.
But somebody needed to hear it.
Real talk.
You know, so we definitely appreciate you guys for listening. We already went over the answers of the week from last week's episode, but we do have a question of the week for this week that we would love for y'all to answer, and we'll give all the responses that we get on next week's episode. Right. So, Mike, what is the question of the week for today's episode?
This week's question for 2022, the first
2022.
one of the year. Man, it is, what is something that 2021 has taught you? What did you learn? Share it, because that is something that can help us all. I will repeat the question one more time. What is something that 2021 has taught you? Y'all already know how to answer these questions. You can DM us, or you can actually put it in the comments, because we're starting the comment section on Instagram now as well. Yeah,
so we're definitely going to post this on IG.
Yeah.
So make sure you are following us on Instagram at Residual Impact Podcast. Also, don't forget to, if you're not already watching us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Click that thumbs up button, because I know you like this episode. I know you like this video.
This one was good.
It was great. Click that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload from us, and drop your comments down below. Comments. Let us know what you thought about today's episode. Also, you can give us your answers of the week on YouTube.
Yeah. So, just like that. 2022, first episode of the year. Hey, brother. How you feel?
I feel amazing. I feel like I got a lot off my chest.
Yeah, no, real talk.
I feel like I got a lot off my chest.
Real talk. This is therapy.
Anything that I've said regarding any of the women that I've dealt with, it's not to shame any of those women.
Yeah.
It really isn't. Like, there's a lot that I've learned from those relationships about myself.
Agreed.
That I wish, if I knew before coming to this realization, if I knew this years ago, I could have saved both of us heartaches. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is not a slight to any of the women in my past. I'm actually thankful that I've been able to come to this realization from dealing with you. So no hard feelings, anything like that. You know, I've grown as a person, and I wish nothing but the best for all of y'all.
Agreed. Same here, my brother. I don't take losses, my brother. I only have lessons in my life. So everything that I've been through is only a lesson.
Those are the only L's we take.
That's it, my brother.
Lessons, never losses.
We don't take them. I don't even know how to say that.
That should be the title of this episode.
Ooh, come on now.
Lessons, never losses.
Come on now. I don't even know how to say that other L word no more.
Yo, but with that being said, Mike, do you have anything else to close us out with?
I don't, man. You just stay positive and don't get down if you're going through a rough season. Just keep pushing through. You already know the seasons change, man. They not here to stay. Let's go.
Most definitely. And we're going to keep hitting you guys with back-to-back content. And we got a lot in store for you guys this year, including guests being on the show. We're going to start having guests on the show. We have our first guest in mind, and we just got to, communicate some things, work some things out, and that guest should be here before you even know it. And then after that, it's only up from here.
That's it. That's all we do.
So with that being said, we cannot leave without saying where you are today is a residual outcome of the thoughts you had in the past. I'm Brandon Gio.
And I'm your boy, Jamichael Moore.
And we'll catch y'all in the next episode. And we can't wait for you to hear what we have to say next. Till next time. Peace.